Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got an interesting topic to cover. I'm going to go over 10 diet hacks. Actually, I hate the word hack, but 10 diet tips that will help your diet go a lot better if you'll actually use them. First off, most of you know that I am on the Jenny Craig diet and it's working very well for me, but there's a few things that I do to help it work even better. Now, the first thing we know that there's really 3 things that a diet must be for you to stay on it, other than the fact that you just have this amazing willpower that you can do anything. But for me anyway, a diet has to be convenient, so it's not a pain in the butt and more trouble than it's worth, so to speak. Secondly, there has to be a good variety of food so you don't get bored with what you're eating. You can't eat the same darn thing. You know, you can't have cabbage soup 3 times a day for 6 months and expect to stay on that diet. Sure, you may lose weight, but if you don't stay on the diet, you know, it's really not successful. And then finally, your food's got to taste good. Now, anything can taste good for a while, but if you keep eating the same rotation of food, your taste buds get tired, you get a little bored, you want something to kick it up with. And that's really what today's 10 diet tips or hacks are all about. So let's get started. Now, all of these tips or hacks are actually going to be things that you can put on your food to make them taste more interesting, taste better, give you some variety, sort of change up your dishes. They're all inexpensive and they're all fairly low calorie, some of them extremely low calorie and low fat. There's a couple that have some calories to them, but you just got to use them smartly and with moderation. Number 1, salt and pepper. Duh. Salt and pepper really goes on just about anything and everything. Best of all, no fat, no calories in either one. Give a little extra zing to something with just a little salt and some pepper. Be careful if you're on a sodium restricted diet, but they're very inexpensive. They add flavor to your food, and if you use just a little salt here and there, it's not going to hurt you. What really makes a difference in diet is portion control and eating smart. So a little salt and pepper can really help. Number 2, Tabasco sauce. Everybody knows what Tabasco sauce is. You can buy it just about anywhere. It costs about $1.99 a bottle, and best of all, only 1 calorie per teaspoon. And I don't really know anybody that uses more of a teaspoon than Tabasco sauce or anything. But this stuff goes great on vegetables, on seafood. I like to put it in boiled spinach with a little salt. Tastes fantastic. I use it on collard and mustard greens. Spinach, like I mentioned, goes great on seafood, really anything. Kicks it up a notch, virtually no calories, tastes great. Number 3, Parmesan cheese. Well, you might think, gee, cheese, there's a lot of calories and fat in it, but actually not. If you use dried Parmesan cheese out of a shaker bottle, like Kraft, for instance, is what I use, it's 22 calories per tablespoon, or only 7 calories per teaspoon. So put a teaspoon of Parmesan, or maybe even up to a tablespoon, it's only 22 calories, on all sorts of things, on vegetables, on spaghetti and meatballs, pasta, sandwiches, pizza, etc. A great way to add flavor and add very few calories and make that meal or make that dish a little bit more exciting and tasty. Tip number 4, fresh vine-ripened tomatoes. You know, those, you can buy a cluster of tomatoes, 3 or 4 that still have the vines on them. They're only 22 calories for a medium tomato. I like to take one of these, and a lot of the foods with Jenny Craig are microwave foods, and they'll say, you know, microwave 5 minutes or so. Well, I'll microwave it 4 minutes, and then I'll take a diced up tomato and put it in there, stir it up a little bit, and cook it for the remaining minute. And put a little salt and pepper on it, maybe a little Tabasco. Fantastic. It adds bulk, i.e. you're going to get less hungry because you're eating more food. It adds flavor, it's healthy, fresh tomatoes, and it's only 22 calories. So I do this a lot, and I add a tomato to many dishes to bulk it up, make me feel less hungry, add a health touch and a little bit more flavor. Tip number 5, Some of you are going to think I'm crazy, but tip number 5 is butter. Okay, butter, if used sparingly, can be great with a diet. It's only 34 calories a teaspoon. So if you've got a bagel, or if you've got a piece of bread, or you've got something that you want to add just a little flavor to, make it go down a little smoother, just a little butter is fine, but use it sparingly. In a tablespoon of butter, there's over 100 calories. Okay, so you want to be very careful. Practice measuring out a teaspoon of butter and see what it actually looks like. If you just use one every now and then, it's going to be okay. I like to put that in with fresh vegetables to give them a little extra kick, along with some hot sauce or salt and pepper or some Parmesan cheese. Really kicks up the taste and makes it more edible with a little butter. Tip number 6, onion. I like to take white onion, either cut them thin, put them raw into something, or take and put just a little tiny bit of butter and fry some up in a frying pan and add them to any dish. They're very healthy. Onion adds a lot of flavor, not many extra calories. A whole onion, a whole white onion, only has about 55 calories in it. So if you were to cut up half an onion and put it in something, or a sliver or slice of onion on a burger or a sandwich or whatever, very low cal, a lot of flavor, kicking it up. Same goes for garlic. Garlic is similar to onion in that aspect. Very little or few calories, adds a lot of flavor, very inexpensive. Roast some garlic, put some raw garlic in there. I consider that, just like onion. Tip number 7, habanero sauce. It comes in a little bottle, just like Tabasco sauce, about $1.99. And I know what some of you are thinking, oh my God, that stuff is hot, it'll kill me. No, you just use very little of it. It's got much more flavor than jalapeno or some of the other hot sauces do. It's also much hotter, but it doesn't burn your lips, it doesn't burn your throat, your stomach, and it doesn't cause havoc the next morning with you, if you know what I mean, as jalapeno sauce will, or jalapenos. Habanero is only hot in your mouth. It's a lot hotter, but you just use a lot less. And a tip to save some money is buy the XXX or the super hot and just use a little less of it, as opposed to getting the medium flavor, having to use, so let's say 10 shakes of it. The bottle still costs the same as the super hot. It only takes maybe 2 shakes or 2 or 3 drops. Adds a lot of flavor, heat. I use habanero sauce on all sorts of stuff. Soups, pastas, vegetables, meats, anything you want to add flavor to, and it's a lot better than jalapeno sauce. And I live in South Texas. Take my word for it. Cheap, easy, and it's only 4 calories in 1 teaspoon. A lot of flavor. You're not going to suffer on the calorie side for it. Tip number 8, fresh lemon juice. Take a lemon, cut it in half, and take a fork and stick it in that lemon and twist the lemon one way and the fork the other way, back and forth, and you'll get a lot of juice out of that lemon. A lemon only has 17 calories in a medium-sized lemon. Very low calorie. Take half a lemon's worth of juice and put it on broiled asparagus, put it in a salad, put it on pasta, put it on cooked vegetables, put it on fish. For less than 10 calories, you can really jazz up a meal. And this doesn't have to be fresh fish you put it on. Let's say you have a Jenny Craig or a Nutrisystem or Weight Watchers meal, whatever. You just put some lemon juice on top of that, and it really makes it taste good. Again, very few calories. Tip number 9, and this may seem obvious, ketchup and mustard. Ketchup only has 10 calories per teaspoon, or about the amount that you'll get in 1 little ketchup packet. Mustard for a packet or a teaspoon is only 3 calories. On Jenny Craig, I eat a classic cheeseburger about once a week. and it's got about, gosh, 280 calories, I believe, in it. For 10 calories more, or 13 calories more, you put a teaspoon of ketchup, a teaspoon of mustard. It makes that thing taste a ton better. You're adding virtually no calories, and you've added some variety to it. Add a slice of onion to it, maybe a little habanero sauce, a couple of shots of that, and now you've got a delicious hamburger, a slice of vine-ripened tomato. You know, for 20, 25 calories extra, you've taken this plain item that you probably had 10 times on your diet already and made it special, make it taste great, and taken it from a, gee, here I am having this classic cheeseburger again, to wow, I get to eat this cheeseburger and it's really, really tasty. Tip number 10, olive oil. Again, like the butter, you may think I'm crazy, but this one is a great addition to a lot of foods. It does, however, have 120 calories per tablespoon, or as I prefer to look at it, only 40 calories per teaspoon. A lot of healthy attributes to consuming olive oil. It makes your foods taste richer, more flavorful. Use it sparingly. I like to broil asparagus and just brush on a very little bit. Helps the salt stick to it when I salt it and pepper it. Use it sparingly, and it's a smart move. If you get carried away, and it's so easy to, those of us on a diet want to add maybe a little bit more here or there, but it all adds up. You can quickly go from just adding 40 calories to adding a couple hundred calories if you're not careful. But use sparingly, it is actually fantastic. Here's a tip on how to use it. Go out and get a mister or an olive oil sprayer and use that. You can actually use 1 teaspoon of olive oil and cover a whole bunch of asparagus. If you try putting it on with a brush, it goes on much heavier. So go out, go on eBay, go to your specialty store, your gourmet store, and see if you can't get an olive oil sprayer or mister. Those things really work. I own one, and it helps me. And a bonus tip. We said 10 hacks or 10 tips on this video. Here's actually, I guess, what you'd call your 11th. Metamucil, the stuff that comes in the orange can or the orange bottle with the big plastic screw top on it. People go, oh, is that a laxative or whatever? No, it's not. It's just very high fiber, it's very healthy, and it's only got about 20 calories per teaspoon. If you take a couple of doses of this a day or 1 dose of 2 teaspoons, the fiber will actually help fill you up and make you want to eat less. It also helps clean you out and keep you regular, which is important. The body acts very efficiently and most effectively when it's in a routine, when it's in a rhythm. Metamucil will help lower your cholesterol. It's actually been shown to do so. The FDA lets them make the claim that it lowers your cholesterol. So I do this, it really helps me. All of these tips are what I've used to be very successful on the Jenny Craig diet. Again, they'll work with any diet, even if you're just trying to eat smart. Use these items and they'll help your diet go further. They'll help you get better results by making your food more exciting, giving you less reason to feel bored, giving you less reason to feel hungry on your diet, and just adding more flavor and kicking things up a notch for very little cost and adding very few calories. I hope these 10 tips plus the bonus tip will help you in your diet endeavors. They really help me. I wouldn't give you any tip that I don't use myself. I use all of these and they are working very well. They're helping my Jenny Craig diet go along very smoothly. It's making my food more flavorful, more exciting, and I've lost quite a bit of weight on Jenny Craig so far. This is the least interesting man in the world. Until next time, stay awake, my friends.